What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So, don't mind the hair, but yeah, I told you I would try to get a Chargers draft thing for each round before the draft, and I got like about an hour and a half until the draft really starts, so I'm gonna try to rush through this pretty quickly so I can get up in time so I can prove within a year or two that I was correct about the choices I'm gonna make right now. But to start off with some little bit of extra news that has come out since my last video, which was that ex-USC great wide receiver Marquise Lee, who struggled a bit in Jacksonville but has decided to sign a one-year deal with the Patriots. Kind of sucks because I wanted him to come to the Chargers, of course, come back home, but we'll see what he could do in New England. Should be very interesting for him. So congrats to him. Then another USC wide receiver was in some weird trade news right now that apparently it's not true, but it would be really awesome if it was true, if Juju Smith-Schuster was traded to the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, obviously I would prefer him to come to the Chargers, but I think you'd have to give up quite a bit to get him, especially away from Pittsburgh. But maybe Pittsburgh is thinking about blowing it up, their whole entire team, and restart from scratch. You never know. But why would they give up one of their better players under the age of 25, you know? It's kind of stupid, but I mean, if he went to the 49ers, then that would definitely be an easier transition to a new team that's still in California instead of having to try to still root for these Chargers. But I don't know, we'll see. But that was very interesting news that I saw. And then just a couple minutes ago, it did say that the Chargers have been in contact with one of the teams in the top 5 ahead of them about moving up to make a trade. And it's kind of making me nervous because it might be for Tua, the quarterback, or it could be that, like how that other graphic is saying, that they're more into an offensive lineman than we think, which is what I'm praying for, because that's what I want them to do to be able to stabilize this franchise, is get their left tackle and then get their quarterback later, whether it's this year or next year. And I just think if you miss out on one of these tackles this year, you're gonna be screwed quite a bit. But that's the hope I'm going for within this last hour or so before the draft starts. But yes, I'll get on to the video of who I think the Chargers should draft in 2020. So I tried to do a mock thing of where if they did pick one of the quarterbacks that everybody's been saying, Tua or Justin Herbert, but I couldn't even get past like the 5th round. I was just getting so frustrated of who to pick, and once I went through it correctly the way I would normally do it, then I kind of got 3 guys in each round that I believe the Chargers should look at no matter what. And yes, I think this is a couple of like 21. What is it? No, 3 times 7. Yes, 21 great guys. Maybe 22 guys that the Chargers will definitely need on their team. And as long as they get even like 2 or 3 of these guys, then I think they'll be ready to go for the Super Bowl run that I'm hoping they will get within the next year or two. But in the 1st round, I want them to go after one of my favorite players, which is Andrew Thomas. He's just one of the beasts from Georgia. He's been great. That's why the other running backs from his school have been drafted so high and are doing so well, because they've had this guy blocking for him while they were in college, and you know, they're still doing pretty good in the NFL, but definitely needed him. But definitely like this guy Andrew Thomas out of Georgia. But one of my favorite offensive linemen, if the Chargers do decide to go this way, which would be kind of surprising, but I do really like Tristan Wirfs from Iowa. He's one of the best linemen out there, but he is more of an inside guy, and they definitely need a left tackle, which is what Thomas is. But if they just went out of the box as well, I'm thinking Derek Brown, the defensive tackle from Auburn, who's the #1 defensive tackle. It's definitely a position that the Chargers need to fill, but I mean, they could also trade back a couple spots maybe and get him, but I don't know if they would do that. But this will definitely be a surprise pick to have him there, and then messes up the draft later. But he is one of my other top 3 favorite players in the draft. But that's it for round 1. So round 2 kind of go a little bit different, but the way I was going with my first pick, the offensive tackle Andrew Thomas, then I would want them to go for quarterback Jalen Hurts. You've heard me talk about this ad nauseum, where I think this is a perfect area for him, but I am hearing some news that the Patriots might be interested in taking him later in the first round, which would suck. I told you the Patriots were going to do something to mess us up, but hopefully they're too scared to do it, and then they'll be there for the Chargers at the top of the second round. But other two guys they could look at are two running backs. Definitely a guy who had a great college career in Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin, Heisman finalist. He was great. And then J.K. Dobbins from the Ohio State University. Just shows a lot of speed and definitely a position area that the Chargers need at running back. And then onto the third round, definitely go more defense. This one guy out of Utah who just been so annoying having USC play against him all the time, but Leki Fotu, I mean, he's once again just a beast, and at times he can get out of position, but that's why he's going to be selected in the third round. But he is a mammoth of a dude, and once he has everything clicking, he can get the job done, and that's what I'm hoping he can do for the Chargers on that defensive line. But I also think they could go for the linebacker out of Wyoming, Logan Wilson. Definitely one of the top 10 linebackers of the draft, and getting him in the third round too is a pretty good value. But then also there is a guard, and Netane Muti. He's a guard from Fresno State, and he's very talented, very strong. He does have some injury issues, which is why I think he can fall this far, maybe if not farther because of those injury issues. But if he can stay healthy, he's definitely going to be one of the greater interior offensive linemen to come out of this draft, in my opinion. Okay, and for round 4, it was a bit tough, but had to add an extra guy because I didn't see him getting past this round, but also I liked other guys to go ahead of him. But definitely a guy that could go in this round is Colin Johnson, the wide receiver from Texas. Yes, I know I shouldn't like a guy from Texas, but I liked him ever since he's been playing against USC, and those 2 years, he just did great against USC, and even other times too. I just, knew how good he could be. And then also a guy in Tyler Johnson who did great for Minnesota this year. I think he has a lot of ability and potential, so definitely a slot receiver. Then also a guy like Troy Dye, the linebacker from Oregon. He kind of was always injured, especially I think he broke his hand, but even through that he still played, and definitely seems like a guy that the Patriots or Belichick will try to get, so hopefully they don't buy this time. So I think he could be a good player here, and hopefully he'll still be available. And then the defensive lineman James Lynch from Baylor. Yes, he doesn't look like he's a great player, but a lot of times, because he knows he's probably not going to be the quickest to get to the running back or even quarterback, he a lot of times does a jab to force a fumble if he can't get there, and then he does have some surprisingly good speed once he gets closer to the ball, which is really good. So definitely like what I see from this guy, and had a nice sack right there on the Texas quarterback as well. Alright, and round 5 has a couple of great guys. The linebacker Evan Weaver, once again, doesn't look like he could even play at that linebacker position, but he definitely led the nation in tackles, and especially for that Cal defense, which is pretty talented. It's good for him, and definitely a guy who I think could play outside linebacker or outside defensive end, like a stand-up, like a Clay Matthews, someone like that. Just needs to get bigger and stronger, and definitely has the instincts and the smartness to play that position, so I like him a lot. And then Troy Pride Jr., the cornerback from Notre Dame. I think I put him more in. I saw his highlights and he seemed pretty good. I just think for some reason Chargers have been finding a couple of good guys from Notre Dame recently, except Tillery, their last first round pick, which I wasn't happy about still, but this guy is actually talented for his position, and I wouldn't mind having him on the team at this area too, where he'll be available pretty much. And then this guy I'm hoping might be available, but after this highlight you're about to see, I mean, it's just crazy if he's even projected to go this round or later. But A.J. Dillon, the running back from Boston College, I mean, he had a great career. And a lot of these running backs now are juniors coming out of college. They're only staying 3 years because they already know that after this deal, they don't really get that big of a pay raise. So might as well get 200 less hits in college and just start getting paid in the NFL and getting those hits. So good for him. He's very talented, very big guy. It could definitely be a third down back, but maybe an every down back as well if he can catch the ball, which seems like he can. But yes, very excited if we're able to get this guy this late in the draft. But round 6 still has some talented players in my opinion, but Chargers could be going in a different route. I mean, I really like the safety Tanner Muse from Clemson. Liked in the past 2 years, him and Kayvon Wallace from Clemson as well, the other safety, but I think he'll be gone by this time, so that's why I chose Tanner Muse, which I don't know why he's up there more, because he just seems like a really smart player, and the Chargers could always use depth at that position anyways, just in case Derwin James goes out with injury again. And they did lose Adrian Phillips as well to the Patriots, so definitely a guy I really like out here. And then the tight end Jacob Breeland, for some reason his stats aren't that great at Oregon, even though that's an offense you could get so many numbers, whether it's yards or touchdowns, and for some reason he didn't. And he's a tight end, so he can block somewhat, but I think that's why he's available this slate, is because he's more of a receiving tight end, which is okay in my opinion, because Hunter Henry is a better blocker. So if you even have both of them on the field, you could throw the ball to Breeland and he could be even more athletic in my opinion as well. So he'll be a good pickup this late. And then James Proche, the wide receiver from SMU, he should be available this late. I don't know why. He did have a nice career over there at SMU, and his quarterback that decided to stay one more year, Shane Buechele, out there. I don't know. That's why I don't mind if the Chargers end up not getting a quarterback this year, and even if they suck a lot next year, I don't care if they even get the top guys, because this guy Shane Buechele, I'm telling you, he's gonna definitely be in the conversation for the top 5 quarterbacks overall next year. They're gonna say he's a copycat of Drew Brees in my opinion, and I'm just getting ahead of it now just because I saw the plays for this guy Proche, and some of the throws that Buechele was making are just incredible. So yeah, just a look forward to 2021 NFL draft. But to finish off round 7 here for the Chargers, do have a couple guys quickly. Jack Driscoll, a tackle from Auburn. Don't know if he'll still be available right near at this round 7, but projections say he is, so not a bad pickup for this late in the draft for a tackle. And then guy people aren't really talking about from North Dakota State University, who has had some good players come out of there recently, is James Hendricks, a safety. He's very good at intercepting the ball and plays really good up on the line of scrimmage, so he could be a nickel or dime. So he could be all over the field, in my opinion, on defense. And then Keith Washington, the cornerback from West Virginia. After watching his tape, definitely had a lot of more respect for him, just because of all the talented receivers he went up against and actually played them well. So I was glad to see that, and hopefully he could be a steal this late. I don't know why he's going this late, but definitely will be cool if he's still available and ends up on my Chargers. But thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know what y'all think. Yes, the draft is pretty soon, probably within an hour or so, so hopefully this is up before then. And yeah, let's just hope for the best, and hopefully the Chargers don't buck it up.